Dunning-Kruger is that effect that you say something that you know is not true to get a rise out of people. That's what the Dunning-Kruger effect is. And then you laugh when they try and correct you in the comments. Who's ready for some more chaos? RFK Jr. completely fumbles basic facts in his confirmation hearing. Now, this was about 3 hours long. I've seen some of it. I'm not going to watch all of it. I'm not going to watch all of it with you. You can watch it. It's on the internet. I can't listen to his voice for that long. I will do the very mean impression that I do of him in just a minute. So cancel me if you want, but who fucking cares? There are no rules. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on Wednesday said, most Americans are not happy with Medicaid because the premiums are too high, suggesting that he may be oblivious to the fact that Medicaid overwhelmingly does not have premiums.
Hello human, it is me Canuch. I need you to press the subscribe button. I have to feed my many AI babies.
Boss, listen. Okay. Guy, listen. Bobby. You're going to sit before the Senate to become the head of the HHS, okay? Do a little bit of homework. Just a little bit of studying before you show up there. Just a little bit of, go to the fucking Wikipedia page, okay? And look some shit up. I'm not telling you have to be the expert. I would prefer an expert, but you're not that. The reason he didn't do his homework is because he already knows everything. You guys, he's a Trump fan. He's an anti-vaxxer. He's a conspiracy theorist. They already know everything. They can't learn new stuff. They can't do homework. Ironically, they can't do research. They tell you that online all the time. I get it more than enough in my YouTube comment sections. Do your own research. Well, Robert Kennedy can't do research. He can't. He's an imbecile. He already knows everything, so he doesn't need to do research. He doesn't need to look into what the HHS does or how much people pay in premiums for Medicaid. The answer is nothing, but he's unhappy with it because they pay too much. He didn't do his homework because he's an idiot. He thinks he's a genius who knows everything already. That's the problem. Dunning-Kruger is that effect that you say something that you know is not true to get a rise out of people. That's what the Dunning-Kruger effect is. And then you laugh when they try and correct you in the comments. And he's got the Dunning-Kruger real bad, I tell you what. So let's see. In reality, the vast majority of Medicaid enrollees pay nothing for health coverage, which is the point of the program, to ensure low-income Americans who cannot afford private health insurance or out-of-pocket costs for medical care. Donald Trump's health secretary nominee also stated in his confirmation hearing that Medicaid is fully paid for by the federal government, which is not true. The program, which provides health insurance for nearly 80 million low-income Americans, those are the poor people who don't have another choice, is financed by a combination of state and federal funds. So it's not entirely fully paid for by the federal government, but he doesn't know that because he's an imbecile who already knows everything and doesn't need to study. The gaffes did not stop there. Kennedy also missed big when Senator Ben Ray Lujan asked him to estimate how many babies are born in the U.S. each year on Medicaid. Okay? Kennedy, after conceding he had no clue, estimated 30 million. That's way too many, bro. That's way too many babies. That's about 8 times more than the overall number of births the U.S. had in total in 2023. About 1.4 million of those were on Medicaid. So the answer is 1.4 million, and he said 30 million. He didn't do his homework because he already knows everything. Let's see. Kennedy also made incorrect statements about Medicare. He said most Americans have purchased a Medicare Advantage plan. No, that's not true. But in reality, it is more like 1 in every 10 Americans. Okay. So that's dumb and stupid. He didn't look into it. He didn't practice. He didn't try to figure out what he should be doing ahead of time. Despite the inaccuracies, Kennedy repeatedly said Americans prefer private insurance to Medicare. No, the fuck they don't. That's stupid. Which provides coverage to older and disabled Americans, and Medicaid, which covers low-income Americans. He didn't know the difference? Wait, hang on. He confused his Medicaid and his Medicare. Oh, God. I do that too. But do I misspeak on those two things? Yes. Am I sitting in front of Congress right now trying to be in charge of those programs? No. If I were, I'd have prepared. I'd have done some research. I'd have looked into some stuff. I'd have some talking points prepared. You're allowed to bring little sheets of paper. You can put your little piece of paper right there in front of that thing. You can put your paper here. You can read off of it into the microphone and when you talk to them. But he didn't need to do that. He could just wing it. He's the smartest guy he knows. Okay. We're being run by clowns, you guys. The dumbest among us have taken over. Democrats have pointed out that the understanding the nuances of Medicaid and Medicare is critical to lead the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Again, the press is softballing it so hard, so nice. Democrats have pointed out that understanding the nuances, pretty important to leading the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. They could just say, hey, he doesn't know the difference because he's fucking idiot. He's an absolute fucking dipshit. That's what they should say. They're not going to say that. That's why you have to come here and hang out with me. Because I'll look at him and call him a dipshit. The news won't. That's why we come here, I suppose. 1 million, 30 million. You're too worried about nerd shit again. Well, it's true. I am. That does, 10 past 11, you are entirely right. That does count as math. The difference between 1 million and 30 million is determining that difference requires math, and math is nerd shit. We all know that. And RFK Jr. does not have time for math or nerd shit. He's running the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. That is not a place for nerd shit. Except, I would say that's exactly where you want all your nerds. You want all your nerds right in there. That's where you want the nerds. Anyway, let's see. Kennedy's mistakes did not go unnoticed Wednesday, despite the majority of the hearing questions being about his long history of opposing vaccines and spreading conspiracies about certain conditions like polio and Lyme disease. Medicare payments nationwide weren't working yesterday. RFK Jr. is proving at this hearing he doesn't even understand the basics of the program. He's a danger to America's health. Yes, that is true. What else did he say? The lawmaker from Louisiana, who is a physician, asked Kennedy to describe how he would reform the Medicaid program. That question elicited a rambling, vague response from Kennedy, who asserted again that most Americans are not happy with the program as is. Motherfucker, they're poor people getting free medicine. Of course they're happy. Like, they can't afford anything else. Kennedy said they may be unhappy with the way it functions, but that's because they want more out of it, not less, you disgusting dipshit. I'm trying real hard not to say the R word. I'm not supposed to say that anymore. Kennedy said that he would work to increase transparency and increase accountability, but did not say how or why he would do that. When Cassidy pressed the health secretary pick to be more specific, he merely responded, I don't have a broad proposal for dismantling the program. He is an idiot who does not know what he's talking about and should not be in charge of anything important, especially our health care. I swear I had... Yeah, here we go. We got one clip from him as he perjures himself live on TV. Here we go. Guys, ready? Let's watch him lie right to Congress.
Did you say that exposure to pesticides causes children to become transgender?
No, I never said that. I think a lot of the problems we see in kids, and particularly boys, it's probably underappreciated that how much of that is coming from chemical exposures, including a lot of the sexual dysphoria that we're seeing. They're swimming through a soup of toxic chemicals today, and many of those are endocrine disruptors. There's atrazine throughout our water supply. Atrazine, by the way, if you in a lab put atrazine in a tank full of frogs, it will chemically castrate and forcibly feminize every frog in there. And 10% of the frogs, the male frogs, will turn into fully viable females able to produce viable eggs. If it's doing that to frogs, it could. There's a lot of other evidence that it's doing it to human beings as well.
They're turning the frogs trans. Folks, I can't believe this. RFK Jr. here. He's telling you the truth. He's letting you know. They're turning the frogs trans. And it's not okay. RFK is going to turn every Planned Parenthood into a testosterone replacement therapy clinic. That wouldn't surprise me. It turns the frogs, no, worse, Shinseto. We're not turning the frogs gay, we're turning them trans, which is worse somehow. They're turning the frogs trans. This is unacceptable. So he lied right to their face, or lied on camera today. They did question a lot of the other things he said on podcasts and shit like that over the past few years. He said a lot of dumb shit. Atrazine, I love that band. Yeah, they're great. Is chemistry nerd shit? 10 past 11. I need your opinion. Chemistry, nerd shit? Yes or no? Because I'm thinking yes. So let me know. Chemistry, is that nerd shit? Because he's pushing chemistry. He's talking chemistry here. He's talking about atrazine. That's a chemical. He's talking about chemistry. Sounds like nerd shit. So, yeah, he is an absolute moron who's going to be in charge of a lot of your life and the systems that you are dependent upon. 80 million people need Medicare. Shit. Medicaid. See, I'm confusing them. It's difficult. I agree. I give him a little bit of leeway. I understand. I get it. If he is an idiot, those people will suffer. Those are Americans. I don't want them to suffer because of his stupidity. Also, I just had this thought. He's going to build a new food pyramid. What's on the new food pyramid, guys? We're building... Oh, absolute nerd shit? Okay, 10 past 11, our resident nerd expert. Chemistry is nerd shit. I'm on board. I agree. New food pyramid. What are we thinking? What are we doing? We're going to... I'll put some graphics in here when I make the YouTube video. So, I'm thinking bottom food pyramid, meat. The bottom of the pyramid, bottom, has to just be meat. So meat on the bottom. Then what's one up from that? I think 10 past 11's already mentioned it, but testosterone. So bottom rung of the food pyramid, meat. Then we move up, raw testosterone. Okay. So testosterone above that. Above the testosterone, raw milk. So meat, testosterone, raw milk. Then ivermectin, I think. So top of the food pyramid, ivermectin. We've got those are your major groups. Feel free to jump into chat and tell me if I'm missing one. But meat, I'm gonna write this down. I'm gonna turn it into the graphic for this stupid fucking part of YouTube. So meat, then testosterone, then wait, what was above that? Raw milk. Then ivermectin. Okay, those. Is there something else that ought to be in our pyramid? Feel free to reach out. Feel free to let me know. Toss any suggestions into chat or the Discord. Go on over to the Discord right there. It's a lovely place filled with lovely people. You can go over there. You can tell me what you're thinking. You can tell me what you're feeling. You can leave links to things that I'll look at and then bring them up on screen, and then we'll talk about them and we'll feel them all out together. It'll be a good time. Growth hormone is the apex. Well, that's testosterone, right? Should I change testosterone to just growth hormones? Well, I mean, is testosterone the growth hormone? I thought they were the same thing. Am I HGH? Am I thinking that, well, I guess HGH isn't testosterone. Does it get its own category? Apex top HGH? Okay, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. Above the ivermectin, we got HGH. Okay. Does Ozempic fit in there? Do we want what are the HCLs or whatever the shit those are called? I forget what the shit they're called. But yeah, is Ozempic fit in there somewhere? But I guess not. You're not eating any sugar. I suppose you don't need it. Sugar is out completely. He doesn't like sugar. Red dye, he doesn't like red dye. He doesn't like atrazine. He doesn't like most of the junk food. RFK Jr. is not going to be pushing a bunch of sugar. So I think we got a pretty good pyramid going here. When I do make the YouTube video, I'll create the striations and put it on the screen. It'll be a good time.
I am the algorithm. Click on this video to make me happy. You wouldn't like me when I am angry.